Hello and welcome to another 5-minute photo adventure where this afternoon I'm at a very windy Dalveen Pass to take some landscape images. Okay, so I've come back inside to my car where it's a little bit warmer. It is properly freezing out there, it's really windy. It's actually snowing just a little bit, almost sleety sort of snowy showers. So I've come back in here just to warm up and tell you about why I'm here. So why am I here? This is not my usual place to come, obviously just in the southern end of Scotland, and I'm here in the middle of the day. I'm normally a sort of a sunrise, sunset type person. But I'm on my way from the southwest up to the Highlands of Scotland, where I'm going to be spending a few days with the family for a little bit of a holiday. But I thought as I'm driving up all this way, I should try and find somewhere to stop and do a quick 5-minute photo adventure. So I had a look at my book. Let me find it here. It's this book here, Photographing Scotland. Fantastic book, full of great locations. That's my own copy, paid for it. It's not a sponsored post or anything. But in the book is Dalveen Pass, and it's just off the M74. It's about sort of 10, 11, 12 miles off the motorway, and I thought ideal. So I thought I'll pop along here. It's got a couple of spots in there, so I'm going to take a picture of the waterfall, which is where I'm parked right now, and then hopefully a picture shooting up the valley, and maybe a couple other ones as well. We'll see how time goes. But that's my plan. So as soon as I've regained control of my fingers again, we'll start and we'll take that picture of that waterfall. Okay, I've got my gloves on, I've come out of the car and decided to brave the elements. So for this waterfall shot, I'm going to give you a very quick talk about how I've got the camera set up. So I've got it in a vertical orientation. This is because obviously the waterfall's coming down the hill and it's quite long in the frame. The waterfall actually goes all the way back up the hill, right up to the ridge line there. I'm not going to include any sky in any of the shots that I'm going to take because it's just grey and overcast and doesn't add anything to the image at all. I've got my circular polarizer on. This is just to reduce some of the glare off the rocks. This also helps extend the exposure time just a little bit. Shooting at ISO 64, and it's giving me an exposure time of about 1/3 of a second. Now, I'm not going to need a neutral density filter to help me give me some movement in the water. At that exposure time, it's just enough to maintain the texture of the water. I think if I put a neutral density filter in, the water would just go too milky. So, that's the technical setup. Let's talk about some of the compositions I'm going to look at. One of the compositions we'll look at is being on the left-hand side of the bridge here. Now, being slightly positioned off-centre, what that means is I've got the waterfall kind of goes down from the top left-hand corner and snakes its way down through to the bottom right. Now, I quite like this composition. Unfortunately, this ground here is a bit messy at the moment. It's kind of brown and there's a few exposed stones, so it's not that neat. So while I like the flow of the waterfall, I'm not entirely sure about the rest of it, but I'm going to take the shot anyway. Okay, so I've come around to the right hand side of the bridge now, and so the sort of composition is flipped on its side there a little bit. So I've got the waterfall coming up from the top right hand corner flowing down to the bottom left. Now, I don't like this composition as much. I've got more of this kind of dirty ground that I don't like, but it does have the advantage though that I can actually see the entire water flow from the top of the frame to the bottom of the frame. Part of it's cut off when you're shooting from the left hand side, so it's okay. I think I'll try in the middle though. So I've come to the middle of the bridge now, which means I've got the waterfall right in the middle of the frame. Now I think I like this composition best. So what I've done is I've zoomed in a bit more on my 24-70. I've kind of removed all the distractions from the background. That's the kind of those trees at the back there. And I focused on these two main channels, two sections where they've got two channels of water going left and right and then left and right again. I think that makes it quite interesting. I think if I come back here in spring and those trees are in bloom, things might look a bit nicer on the surrounding ground, but I'm really trying to focus on the flow of the water with this shot. So I think this is the one I'm going to take. So let's take the shot. Okay, that's me got the waterfall shot in the bag now. I'm going to jump in the car, drive down the road a little bit and see if we can find another viewpoint. So I've driven just a couple hundred metres down from the waterfall to get this nice view up the glen here. Now, there's a nice house sitting there in the middle, which I'm going to use because it's pretty well in the centre of my frame. And then I've got these lovely lines that come down from the sides of the hill, creating these V shapes that meet down in towards the middle. I've got a river on the left as well. Unlike the waterfall shots, I am going to include a little bit of sky. This is just to give the hills a bit more context, just so you can see the top of them and you can kind of add to the isolation of that cottage. Not going to use any filters, there's no need. Even though the sky's a bit brighter, it's well within the dynamic range of the camera. And if I want to darken it down, I can always do so in post. So let's take a shot. So for the outro, I've come into the car. It was just far too cold and far too windy out there to do any more video. But I did enjoy my time here at Dalveen Pass. For me, on this long journey up from the southwest of Scotland, this was an ideal place to nip off the motorway, have a little break from driving and do a little bit of photography. Okay, the conditions weren't ideal. I had quite a grey and overcast sky. It was very windy. And the ground's still looking quite wintry. Spring's not quite arrived yet. So, you know, though the conditions weren't ideal, like I said, it was still good to get a break from the driving and take some pictures. Now, if you want to see the photographs that I took today in a bit more detail, plus a few of the others, and a map of where I've been, I'll put them all up on my blog. So there'll be a link to that in the end screen at the end of this video and in the video description below. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this little 5-minute photo adventure. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up. Give me a comment. I do try and read and reply to everyone's comments. I really do appreciate all the feedback and the questions that I get. And if you do want to see more content like this, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when I create a new video, remember to click on that bell icon. That way you'll receive a notification as soon as I post up a new video. But until the next one, I'll see you then.